Let us say that we have got this system of charged particles. There is Q1, there is Q2, there is Q3, and there is Q4, and so on. Now, there is a very special property of the electric field that these charged particles have created. And based on a special property of the electric field, this concept of potential arises. What is that special property? Let us discuss. Now, imagine that there is a point A of the electric field and there is a point B of the electric field. And in the electric field of these four charges, you're moving a charge Q dash from A to B. Now the thing is, these charge particles will repel or attract or apply force on this Q dash and do work on it. So we say that the electric field is going to do work on this Q dash. The force is proportional to Q dash. In fact, force is equal to electric field into Q dash only, where E is the electric field created by this four charge combination. The force that this Q dash will get is proportional to Q dash. So while getting this force, if this Q dash gets a small displacement, then there is a work done by the electric field. Electric field doing work, or this four charges Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 doing work are same thing only. I say I am doing work, or say that my hands are doing work. Same thing only. So we can say that Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 are doing work, or we are saying that they are creating an electric field and that electric field is doing work. So it means the same thing only. But that work done is proportional to Q dash, which means work done per unit charge Q dash will be independent of Q dash, which means it will be same for all the charges. Now you may replace Q dash with another charge Q double dash. And the work done on this Q double dash will depend on how much force this Q double dash is getting. So the force that Q double dash will get is Q double dash into electric field. This is a force experienced by Q double dash. And while experiencing this force from the electric field, it is displaced by ds. So the electric field will do this much amount of work. So let's call it W. And work done per unit Q double dash. Work done per unit Q double dash will be same as work done per unit Q dash. So this electric field does a work on the charges, and the work done on the charges per unit that charge is same for all the charges. Not only is it same for all the charges, but it is independent of the path which the charge particles will take while going from A to B. This Q double dash can be taken from A to B via just like this straight line path, or it may be taken along this curved path. We know that this is a conservative force we are talking about. And conservative force does exactly same amount of work between the same initial and final point for all the different paths possible between that same initial and final points. So if this electric field is going to do same work on the charges per unit charges, irrespective of the path also, which means this is a very interesting property. And if we know how much work this electric field has done on a unit charge, then we can calculate how much work the electric field do on any charge. In fact, this W divided by Q dash, this is the work done by electric field on unit charge. So why don't we define a property of this electric field, like that is somewhat related to how much work electric field will do when this unit charge is taken from A to B. And if on the unit charge, if the work done is x joule is the work done on unit charge, then on charge Q, the work done will be x cube. Because this work done is proportional to the charge. This Q dash into E dot ds, that is the work done on Q dash. So on any charge, the work done is proportional to the charge because the force is proportional to charge. And so force dot displacement is also proportional to charge. Instead of 1 coulomb, if you move 2 coulomb, 2 coulomb gets double the force. So on that 2 coulomb, double work will be done. So here, an attempt is going to be made to define another physical quantity which is related to how much work the electric field will do when a 1 coulomb charge is taken from one point of the electric field to the another point of the electric field. But how many points are there? There are infinite points in the electric field. And so at each and every point, we need to define something so that is related to how much work will the electric field do when a 1 coulomb charge is taken from one point of the electric field to the other point. So what is done? What is done is at different points in the electric field, there is point A, there is point B, there is point C, there is point D, there is point E. At the different points of the electric field of a collection of charges, a scalar number is associated. We are tagging different points in the electric field with just numbers, such that the difference in the numbers between the 2 points is representing how much work the electric field will do when a charged particle is taken from one point to another point. So let us say that if the number that we have given to point A is x, and the number, and let's say while going from A to B on 1 coulomb charge, the work done is 20 joule on 1 coulomb. So at B, the number will be defined as x minus 20, which means the difference between the numbers defined at 2 points of the electric field, the difference in the two numbers are representing how much work electric field will do when taken from one point to another. If it is taken from A to B, this 1 coulomb charge, then the difference in the number at A and B will represent how much work that 1 coulomb charge will get from the electric field. If the electric field does a work of 40 joule when a 1 coulomb charge is going from A to C, then the difference between the numbers at A and C are 40. So if at A, the number is already x, then at C, the number will be automatically defined depending on how much work electric field will do on 1 coulomb charge when transferred from A to C. So if the charge is getting 40 joule work done, it will be x minus 40. Reduction in number is representing that work done by the electric field will be positive. But let's say we make the charge particle go from A to E, and electric field is doing negative work. So the number will increase. Let's say electric field from A to E on 1 coulomb charge, if it is doing minus 30 joule, then it will be x plus 30. So we are associating at each and every point a number, so that the difference in the number is representing how much work the electric field will do. So if the number at B is x minus 20 and number at E is x plus 30, then if a charged particle is taken from E to B, it is taken from x plus 30 number to x minus 20 number, then the difference in the number is 50 joule. And so the work done on this 1 coulomb charge will be 50 joule. Now, we have to start with one point in which we have to keep one number, so that we can start with assigning other numbers also depending on how much work is done. For example, we start at A and we define that number to be maybe 10. Then all other numbers will automatically be defined. Because if x is, let's say, taken as 10, so this becomes like 10 minus 20, 10 minus 30, 10 plus 30, like that. So we can say that we can define a reference point, and in that reference point, we will take that number to be 0. And with respect to that point, we can define the numbers at other point, depending on how much work the electric field will do. And how much work the electric field do is really a unique value. That's why we are able to associate a number at each and every point. Whenever a 1 coulomb charge is transferred from B to C, exactly it will get one single constant value of work done by the electric field, independent of the path that is taken by this 1 coulomb charge to go from B to C. And because this thing is a constant, that's why we are able to associate. So these numbers are representing the capability of electric field. Like, what is the capability of electric field? Capability means in sense of work done. How much work this electric field is capable of. How much work this electric field is capable of doing on this 1 coulomb of charge when it is taken from point 1 to the point other. And this capability of the electric field about work done by it on a 1 coulomb charge, that capability is called electric potential. Normally potential means, like we say, the student is having high potential, which means he is having high capability. Same is the case with electric field also. Now this reference of 0 value is chosen to be at infinity. Okay. And this number is called electric potential. So if the number is x at A, then we'll say that this number is x potential, or potential at A is x. Similarly, the potential at B is x minus 20, and potential at C is x minus 30. Sorry, x minus 40. Which means potential at A minus potential at B becomes x minus 40, which is 40. And this 40 will be the work done by electric field on a unit charge, 1 coulomb, when it goes from A to B, and it is a fixed value, by the way. Now, this is how the change in potential is defined. So let me just write it also, the formal definition of change in potential. Just like we can define a change in potential energy, and then the actual potential energy based on a reference value to be 0 at infinity. Similarly, there are definitions of change in potential and actual potential. Actual potential value will depend on where are we choosing the reference value to be 0. And just like there are two definitions of potential, like the primary and the secondary. Similarly, here also we will have a primary definition of potential at a point on the electric field and a secondary definition. Okay. When a unit positive charge, unit positive charge means 1 coulomb, is taken from point A in the electric field to point B in the electric field, then the work done by electric field on this 1 coulomb during its journey from A to B is equal to potential at A minus potential at B. Potential is represented by symbol V, where VA is the potential at A and VB is the potential at B. You can say that this is the potential at initial position of 1 coulomb. 1 coulomb is taken from A to B. So A is the initial position of 1 coulomb and potential at B is the potential at final position of 1 coulomb. So work done by the electric field is equal to minus of VB minus VA, which is minus of V final minus V initial minus the delta V. So work done by the electric field per unit charge is equal to minus delta V. What is delta V? Delta V is the difference between the initial potential and final potential. Some people call it change in potential. Now, change in potential is also fine until you understand that potential at each and every point is constant. It's not that at a single point the potential has changed now. No. Change in potential means actually the particle is taken from point where there is some potential to point where there is some other potential. So this is the definition of change in potential. Any doubt here? No doubt. Very well. There is another way in which we can define potential. Let us talk about second way to understand this. Second way to understand this by taking reference to be 0 at infinity. By the way, unit of potential joule per coulomb. In fact, 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per coulomb, which means if the potential at A is x joule per coulomb and potential at B is, how much was it? I forgot. I think I put x minus 20 joule per coulomb, which means when a charged particle is taken from A to B, how much work will be done on it? So let's see. What is the difference in the potential? Difference in the potential. Potential at A minus potential at B is x joule per coulomb minus x minus 20 joule per coulomb. So that will be 20 joule every coulomb. And this WA minus WB, which is the difference in potential, and that is what is representing the work that will be done on any unit charge. And how much we got that? We got that as 20, which means 20 joule of work will be done on every 1 coulomb charge. So potential is potential of the electric field. Potential means capability of the electric field to do work on any unit charge is equal to 20 joule, which means on every 1 coulomb it will be doing 20 joules. So that's why 20 joule per coulomb. We call it 20 volt also. So volt is like always you can imagine in mind that volt means potential, which means how much work it can do, how much joules every coulomb. Joule per coulomb is called volt. The reference is taken to be infinity, 0 at infinity. Second way to understand is this. Let's say we have a system of charge particles, Q1, Q2, like that. Many charges may be there. Now, what do we mean by potential at point P of their electric field? Let's say we say that the potential at P is equal to 100 volt. What does it mean? It means that if we keep a 1 coulomb charge, by the way, 100 volt is 100 joule per coulomb. 100 joule per coulomb. So if we keep 1 coulomb charge at P, then it will be repelled away to infinity. Go get lost, you rascal. I don't want you. I hate you. That's what Q1 and Q2 are going to say to this 1 coulomb, because both are positively charged. Get lost to infinity. So while throwing away this 1 coulomb to infinity, how much work they will do? So how much work they will do depends on by what value is a potential getting reduced. So potential at P is 100 joules and reference potential is 0 at infinity. So potential will reduce by 100 joule per coulomb, which means work done will be 100 joule on any 1 coulomb. So potential at this point P is representing the capability of the electric field to throw that 1 coulomb charge to infinity and do 100 joule of work on it. But if we have point P, then we have, let's say, another point S. And at point S, the potential is 200 joule per coulomb, which means 200 volt. What does it mean? What is a potential at point S representing? Potential at point S is representing that if you place a 1 coulomb charge here, then it will be repelled to infinity. Go to hell at infinity. And while throwing away to infinity, how much capability this electric field has got, which means how much work it will be doing. So it will be doing 200 joule of work on this 1 coulomb charge while throwing it away to infinity. On every 1 coulomb charge, 200 joule of work will be done by this electric field. So if from S to infinity, 200 joule work will be work done from S to infinity. And from P to infinity, it is only 100 joule. So 200 from S to infinity and 100 from P to infinity. Then what about from S to P? From S to P, it will be 100, isn't it? And that is what is difference in potential, 200 minus 100. Now, you can define it like this also. What if instead of throwing away the particle to infinity, what if we bring from infinity a 1 coulomb charge? If we bring from infinity 1 coulomb charge to S, then we are bringing from 0 volt to 200 volt, which means we are going from a lower potential to a higher potential. And we are bringing with us a 1 coulomb charge, because we are going from, or the charge is going from low potential to high potential, this 1 coulomb charge, it will get negative work from the electric field, because work done by the electric field is equal to negative of final minus initial. So if the final is 200 and we started from 0, then work that this electric field will do is minus 200, which means it will take away 200 joule of kinetic energy from it by doing negative work. Then if we as an external agent are bringing this 1 coulomb charge from infinity to point S, we have to do at least plus 200 joule of work, because the electric field is doing minus 200. So we can say that potential at a point S on the electric field can be defined as the work done by external force per unit charge to slowly bring that charge from infinity to that point S of the electric field. Why slowly? In case of slowly,
energy, sir.
yeah. So work done by external force plus work done by electric field is equal to 0. In case of slowly bringing, so we are doing work against electric field. So work done by external force will be minus WEF. Now work done by electric field is minus delta V. So work done by external force will become plus delta V. So plus of V final minus V initial. And because we are starting from infinity, so initial is infinity. And as a reference, we choose the potential to be 0 at infinity. So whatever work the external force does to slowly bring, that is equal to the potential at point S of the electric field. And that is the secondary definition of potential at a point on the electric field. What is that secondary definition? Whatever work external force will do, whatever work this external force will do to bring a charge particle from infinity to that point, that work done by external force per unit charge is the potential at that point. Which means if you really want to bring that 1 coulomb to S, and you want to bring this 1 coulomb in presence of Q1 and Q2, this 1 coulomb, just like that, it won't come near them, because Q1 and Q2 are repelling it. So if you are bringing 1 coulomb slowly from infinity to S, then you have to do work. Electric field is repelling, it's doing negative work, so you do positive work. And whatever work you have to do, you as an external agent, to slowly bring this charge of 1 coulomb from infinity to S, that is the value of potential at S. Okay. So the secondary definition is this: potential at point P.
Sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, this potential and potential energy definition looks similar, sir. So can you tell the major difference which divides them, sir?
Okay. With the help of examples, it will be clear. What is potential? What is potential energy? With the help of examples. Potential at point P at point P of an electric field. is defined as the work done by external force to slowly bring a unit positive charge. Now you may ask that every time we are taking this unit positive charge, what about unit negative charge? So we'll discuss about negative charge also. My work done by external force to slowly bring a unit positive charge from infinity to this point P of this electric field. Little bit. And this work done by external force is against electric field. Okay. So this is the definition of secondary definition of potential. If you want primary definition of potential along with that reference point, reference value chosen to be 0 at infinity, then we can have a primary definition. In case of primary definition, we have got work done by electric field. So potential at point P of an electric field is defined as the, and this is where the students make mistake. I hope you are all okay. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. Now, why this negative is coming? Negative of the work done by electric field.
Because the work is done by the electric field here, sir, rather than the external force.
Yeah. This comes by definition. The work done by electric field is equal to negative of change in potential minus of V final minus Vi. Now you may ask that why did we define potential in such a way that final minus initial potential, a negative of that will be equal to work done by electric field? Why we couldn't simply just take work done by electric field to be Vf minus Vi? And why are we defining it as minus of Vf minus Vi? So that will be clear in later classes, but that's how it is. And final is point P, initial is infinity. You are bringing the charge from infinity to P. So you're starting from infinity, which is initial point, and ending at point P, which is final point. But V infinity is 0. So what is the potential at P? To bring 1 coulomb from infinity to P. From I to F. Initial to final. So initial to final becomes 1 second. In this case, initial to final will become, initial is infinity, final is P. So potential at point P, its primary definition taking reference to be 0 at infinity, is that potential at point P is defined as negative of work done by electric field when 1 coulomb is brought from infinity to P. And secondary definition means positive of work done by external force to slowly bring this 1 coulomb charge, unit positive charge, from infinity to P. Okay. And work done per unit charge means work done joule, and charge means coulomb. So joule per coulomb. Joule per coulomb is called volt. Alexander Volta, Mr. Battery guy. In fact, there was a huge fight between Galvani and Volta. We'll discuss about their story. They both were doing discoveries related to electricity. Galvani was doing experiments on frog, and this Volta was doing experiments trying to replicate what Galvani is doing, but without taking frog as an animal. He was using zinc and copper with some kind of a salt kind of connection in between. He succeeded. Okay. Sometime later, potential at point P due to electric field of a point charge. See, what is potential? Potential is just a number defined at different points in the electric field. And that potential, which is a number at a point in the electric field, is representing just how much work the electric field will do when the 1 coulomb charge is taken from P to infinity, or negative of how much work will the electric field do when 1 coulomb charge is taken from infinity to P. So if there is a charge Q and we say that there is a point P in its electric field, point P is in the electric field of charge Q. So what is potential at P? Potential at P means if you place 1 coulomb here and it will be thrown to infinity, how much work electric field will do? Electric field of what? Electric field of Q will do. How much work electric field of Q will do on this 1 coulomb charge when it is thrown from P to infinity? That is the value of potential at P. You can also define potential at P as negative of work done by electric field for the reverse path, which means from infinity to P. Negative of work done by electric field when the charge particle is taken from infinity to P. So this potential is just representing the capability of this charge to do work on 1 coulomb. And what is potential energy? Potential energy of two charge particle system is K Q1 Q2 by R. Now, a few differences between potential and potential energy are like this. For potential energy, you require minimum 2 charges. Like you require Q1, you require Q2 separated by distance R, K Q1 Q2 by R. That's the potential energy. As far as potential is considered, even a single point is having a potential at P. Not only that, the same charge Q is having different potentials at different points of its electric field. Because if you take some other point S of its electric field and you place a 1 coulomb here, then it will be repelled to infinity while going from S to infinity, whatever work this field of Q will be doing, that is what is the potential at S. From S to infinity, whatever is work done by electric field. Or from, rather than saying S to infinity, you can say infinity to S and put a negative sign. So negative of work done by infinity to S, positive of work done from S to infinity. That is what is the potential at point S of the electric field. So potentials are defined at infinite points. How many potentials are there in total? Infinite potentials are there. Now let us see what is the mathematical value of potential at a point of the electric field of a point charge. Okay, we are going to derive it. So let's say we have a charge Q. We say that we want to calculate the potential at P. P is a point on the electric field of charge Q. And this point P is at the distance of R. So what is the potential at point P? So if you place a 1 coulomb charge, it will be repelled to infinity during its motion from P to infinity. Whatever work this 1 coulomb is going to get from this charge Q, that is the capability of charge Q, of potential of charge Q at P. So let's say we release the charge particle from P. We release this 1 coulomb from P, and it is already on its way. And it has already covered some distance. And let's say its distance from charge Q has already become X. So if it has already gone to a distance of X from the charge, then right now the charge is applying a force of KQ by X square. And while getting this force, let's say this 1 coulomb gets displaced by dx. So how much work this Q has done on this 1 coulomb? The force into the displacement dx. Integrate to get the total work done when it goes from R to infinity. And that is the value of potential at a distance of R. Potential at a distance of R means potential at P. So KQ square, integration of X square minus 1 by X. So minus 1 by infinity minus 1 by R. Oh, I made a mistake. The second charge is 1 coulomb now. Why did I take Q square? Second charge is 1 coulomb. So we get KQ by R, which means potential of point Q, potential of point charge Q at point P is equal to KQ by R. And this point P is at a distance of R, which means whenever you keep a 1 coulomb charge at a distance of R from this point charge Q, it will be repelled to infinity, thrown to infinity. It will gain a lot of kinetic energy because of the repulsion force. And whatever kinetic energy it is gaining is from work done by electric field. So how much electric field will do work on this 1 coulomb when it's going from P to infinity? So the work done is KQ by R. So that much amount of kinetic energy every 1 coulomb will get.
Sir, depending on the electric field at that point, sir, will that electric potential be changing, sir, depending on the other particles, sir, charge of other particles?
That's a very, very important question you're asking. You are saying that you are putting a 1 coulomb here. And 1 coulomb is itself creating an electric field. And will that affect the potential value at this point P? Is that what your question is?
Sir, no, sir. I'm asking about the particle is at point P itself, sir. By adding some other Q charges, sir. First, we are having a charge of Q, sir. Next, we are having a charge of 2Q, sir. So at the same point, the same particle will have different potential, sir. According
Yeah.
to the thinking.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you are saying that instead of Q charge, what if we have 2 Q charge?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The potential must change.
The potential will get doubled because this 1 coulomb placed at P will get now double the force. So it will get double the force throughout its motion from P to infinity. So double work will be done on it. And double work will be done on every 1 coulomb means potential has become doubled. So this Q will be written now as 2Q. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So please keep asking these questions. This gives a teacher a confidence that students are taking interest in understanding. So we have officially derived the potential at a point P of the electric field of charge Q. How many potentials will this point charge have? This point charge will have infinite potentials because there are infinite points in its electric field. At each and every point of its electric field, it has got a potential. Now you may say that, okay, this potential at a distance of r is kq by r. What if we have the same charge q and I've got 2 points? One is P, one is S. Says that P is at a distance of r and this S is also at a distance of r only. So P and S are 2 points in the electric field of charge Q which are having same potential. What does it mean? It means that if a 1 coulomb charge is taken from P to S, the change in potential is 0. So the work done by electric field will be 0. Is it like that? Yes. Because same distance means, like you can say that there is a circle. Circle with center as Q. And P lies and S lies on this circle. So when you take 1 coulomb tangentially, an electric will be like away from this point charge. Away from the point charge will be like radial electric field. So electric field will be, or force will be like this. The force that 1 coulomb will get, F1, F2. So that repulsion force will be radial, but you are going tangential. So there is no work done by electric field. In case a 1 coulomb goes from one point to another in the electric field, and there is no work done by the electric field, that means it is going from one point to another point, such that the 2 points are having same potential. Okay.
So, sir, while calculating, so can we neglect the potential by S due for S due to P, sir?
What is the meaning of potential at S due to P? There is a potential at S due to Q, na? P is just another point.
It's
P
the
is a
same
point, S is a point. At both
Yes,
of these points, P and S, the potential is created by P. But the potential is created by Q.
yes,
There is
sir. I
nothing
got
like
it.
potential at S due to P.
No, sir. I
There
thought
is
you have
potential at
taken two
S.
particles at S and P, sir.
Pardon, sorry.
Sir, I thought that you have taken two particles as S and P, sir. I didn't know that you took the same 1 coulomb from S to P, sir.
Okay. Sometimes I may be going a bit fast. So students may like, my mistake. Shall I repeat this? Like, have you understood this?
Sir, I understood it.
What did you understand? Tell me.
Sir, the potential at S and P will be the same, sir, because the distance is same, sir. So if we take throughout the circle, sir, the potential will be same, and the work done to take the particle from S to P also will be 0, sir.
Yeah, work done by what?
Sir, the
Work done by
electric.
electric field. Okay. Anyway, if work done by electric field is 0, then we also have to do 0 work. If we externally are taking this, imagine that you have a pipe with point charge at its center. You have a circular pipe. And you have a charged particle 1 coulomb. You throw it tangentially with some velocity of 10 meter per second. And you throw it at point P and reaches at point S. At point S also, it's going to have the same speed because the electric field didn't do any work on it. And we are assuming gravity free. So no mg, please. Don't ask this question, why mg is not taken. Because we are assuming gravity free region. Or maybe this is a horizontal circle. So gravity is anyway vertical. But if you have taken a pipe is like this. And then you throw 1 coulomb at point A with some velocity 10. By the time it comes to B, it will have some other velocity because electric field has done work. Because this 1 coulomb is going from A to B, says that potentials are different. Potential different means work is done on it. Okay, we have found out the potential due to a unit, not a unit. We have found out the potential due to Q charge, which is a point charge. What about potential due to collection of point charges? Rather than only Q creating the electric field, Q2 is also creating. And Q3 is also creating electric field. And so the total potential at point P in the electric field of Q1, Q2, Q3 means when this 1 coulomb is taken from P to infinity, how much will be the total work done by the electric field of these 3 charges? Work done by electric field of these 3 charges when this 1 coulomb goes from P to infinity. That is the meaning of potential due to these 3 charges at point P. Now, we can use superposition principle. 1 coulomb will get force from Q1. So Q1 will do work on it. And we have already found out how much work will 1 coulomb do. Sorry, how much work will Q charge do when 1 coulomb is transferred from P to infinity. So potential of a single point charge is KQ by R, which means this is the work that Q charge will do on 1 coulomb when this 1 coulomb goes from R to infinity. So let's say this point P happens to be at a distance of Distance of R1 from Q1, R2 from Q2, R3 from Q3. Then this 1 coulomb, when released from P, and when it reaches infinity, by the time it reaches infinity, Q1 has done work, Q2 has done work, and Q3 has done work. But while calculating the work done by Q1 alone, work done by Q1 alone means force from Q1 alone. And force from Q1 is not dependent on the presence of other charges, which means you can forget that Q2 and Q3 are present. Just take the effect of Q1 only. So Q1 is a point charge. And what is the potential due to point charge? KQ1 by R1. So potential at P due to Q1 is KQ1 by R1. And this is representing how much work this Q1 will do on 1 coulomb when it goes from P to infinity. Now potential at P due to Q2 is KQ2 by R2. And potential at P due to Q3 is equal to KQ3 by R3. So what is the total potential at P? Total potential at P means how much total work this electric field of combined 3 charges will do. How much total work the combined electric field of these 3 charges will do on 1 coulomb when this 1 coulomb goes from P to infinity. So taking the total effect is like adding up the individual effect. That is what is superposition principle. So we can add the potential of individual charges to get the total potential at any point P. So V at P is equal to summation of KQI by RI, where I is the ith charge. Which is creating the potential at point P. And ith charge is fixed at Ri distance from point P. So this is the potential at P. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
so why should we neglect the forces acting upon Q1 by Q2 and Q3, sir? Repulsion, like there will be a repulsion force between Q1 and Q2 and Q1 and Q3, no, sir. So that will ultimately affect the work done by Q1 on 1 coulomb charge, no, sir.
Okay. See, if Q1, Q2, Q3 keep changing their position, in that case, the potential at point P keeps changing. Let's say because of repulsion from Q1 and Q3, Q2 goes towards left. So Q2 goes too much far away from P. Then if you keep a 1 coulomb at P, then Q2 won't be able to do that much work. Why? Because it has gone away. So in that case, there is no fixed value of potential at P. So potential at P makes sense only when the electric field created at all the points is not changing, which means that the charges which are creating the field must be fixed in their place. Which means although this Q2 will get repulsion from Q1 and Q3, we should not allow them to move. We should keep them fixed only. We should
So
stick
more
it
like holding, sir.
What?
So we should assume that we are holding the Q2 so that there is if there is force from Q1 and Q3, there won't be much impact as if we are holding the Q2 at that same position, sir.
Perfect. That's a correct understanding. So we have to fix these charges and then calculate their effect at point P. Potential at point P.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. Principle of superposition for potential states that net potential at any point is equal to sum of potential due to all the charges whose effect you want to take. And potential is a scalar quantity. You just need to add only the values. And by the way, you have to substitute the charge with sign here. Q has to be substituted with sign. What if one of the charge is negative? What if Q2 is negative? Then it will be attracting the 1 coulomb. So when this 1 coulomb is gone from P to infinity, throughout that motion of 1 coulomb from P to infinity, Q2 was attracting it, but it has gone away. So work done by the electric field will be negative. So potential is negative. So potential negative means you have to substitute the charge with sign so that potential can automatically become negative. Okay. Now, let us talk about two methods to solve this question. Two methods to solve any question. Two methods to solve questions. And from here, a distinction between potential and potential energy will be made. Let's say you have got Q1, Q2, Q3. And there is a very long pipe. Very long smooth pipe. Inside the smooth pipe, at point P, you release a 1 coulomb. And it gets repelled from Q1, Q2, Q3. And it reaches the other end of the pipe, which is at infinity. Find kinetic energy gained by this 1 coulomb. Well, we already know the potential at P, which is KQ1 by R1. So this distance is R1 plus KQ2 by R2 plus KQ3 by R3. So this is the initial potential. What is the final potential? At infinity, the potential is 0. What is the work done on this 1 coulomb charge? That is equal to negative of difference in potential. Work done on 1 coulomb minus of delta V. So minus of. So delta V means final minus initial. Final is infinity. Initially, it was at P. At infinity, the potential is 0. So we get Vp. So how much work will be done on it? KQ1 by R1 plus KQ2 by R2 plus KQ3 by R3. And whatever is the work done on this 1 coulomb, that is equal to half mv square. So the kinetic energy gained is KQ1 by R1 plus KQ2 by R2 plus KQ3 by R3. So this is way number 1. Way number 2, system. Q1, Q2, Q3, 1 coulomb. This is the system. We are releasing one of the charges of the system. So we are releasing system. So no work done by us as an external agent. No friction, nothing. Energy conservation. So U initial plus KE initial is equal to U final plus KE final. 4 charges are there. So you can say that there will be potential energy of interaction between Q1, Q2, Q2, Q3, Q1, Q3 not changing. So initially there is K Q1, Q2 by R12. Similarly, there is K Q1, Q3 by what?
So can we say that it will be the self potential energy in this case, sir?
Yeah, so that will be the self potential energy of Q1, Q2, Q3, which is K Q2, Q3 by R23. This plus energy for their interaction with 1 coulomb. K Q1 1 coulomb by R1 plus K Q2 into 1 coulomb by R2 plus K Q3 into 1 coulomb by R3. And initial kinetic energy is 0. Finally, 1 coulomb is gone to infinity. So you'll write K Q1 into 1 coulomb by infinity, and the other two terms are also 0, plus half mv square. Anyway, this gets cancelled out. So we get the same thing. KQ1 by R1 plus KQ2 by R2 plus KQ3 by R3. And that is equal to half mv square. So way number 2 is mechanical energy conservation. Way number 1 is potential method. Both are same only, as far as final answer is considered. But in one case, we are doing mechanical energy conservation, and in second case, we are talking about the work done by electric field of Q1, Q2, Q3 on this 1 coulomb.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in the first method, sir, we can say that work done is negative of potential only when we are moving it slowly, no, sir. So the whatever is there, it will be stored as potential energy of the system, no, sir. So how can we find the kinetic energy, sir?
What did you ask?
Sir, we can tell work done is equal to change in potential only when like that 1 coulomb is taken slowly from P to infinity, no, sir. So kinetic energy should be.
No. Wait. This slowly is used only if you are talking about the work done by external agent to slowly move 1 coulomb from one point to another. When we talk about primary definition, then this slowly word never comes. Primary definition involves work done by electric field. Secondary definition involves work done by external field. When we consider or when you are defining the potential with the help of work done by external field, external force, when you define the potential at a point with the help of or in terms of work done by external force, then you say that charge particle needs to be moved slowly. But when you define the potential in terms of work done by electric force, then slowly doesn't matter. Fast, slow, medium, everything is fine. In fact, if you would have observed, whenever I'm writing potential in terms of work done by electric field,
Sir.
okay, it comes slowly here. So it's my mistake only.
Sir, and another point also, sir, you told the work should be done against the direction of electric field for a positive charge, no, sir. So even that
Okay.
is no, sir.
What? Tell me.
Sir, even that is the difference, no, sir. Like you are saying the difference, no, sir. So we can add another difference is work should be done against the direction of electric field. That also you said in that statement. Sir.
You're talking about what?
That work done by external force, sir. This
Yeah, work
point.
done by external force against electric field.
Yes, sir. That is also a difference, no, sir.
Okay.
I'm adding, sir, like point I'm adding, like you told, no, sir, the difference.
Okay, I will go back to my definition of, you may remember while discussing in the previous classes. Let's say you have a block of mass 2 kg. And let's say you are moving it up by 10 meters. So tell me, Ashutosh, what is the increase in potential energy when it is moved by
200 joules. Sir.
Okay. Now let's say there is an
Got it, sir. Like earlier also, this example you gave, sir. Now I got it, sir.
Oh, now you got it, huh?
Sir,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
sir. I forgot about this point, sir. Now I got it, sir.
So what you do is, have you written this point in your notes?
Sir, no, sir.
This is the problem. That's why you forget. See, the thing is, we are in Kali Yuga. Now there were some people called Shrutidhar. If you have interest in the God and all, like Hindu civilization, we call it Sanatan civilization, Shrutidhar. In olden days, people used to be Shrutidhars. Now, what is the meaning of that? Anything they read once, that's it. It is fixed in the mind. If I am reading 20 books today, line by line, each and every single word I will remember. So that I'm talking about Satyug, when the people were so sharp. Then came Treta Yuga. Then came Dwapar Yuga. Now we have got Kali Yuga. Now in Kali Yuga, people are already having a lot of distractions. The upbringing is also not that much good. Students are eating Maggie and all, which is not at all like, it's like filling the, not affecting, basically it is useless. And because of all these things, we have gone from Shrutidhar to zero value. And that is why it is important to make notes, because you will forget. Those who are not making notes, they are planning to fail anyways and destined to fail unless they are Shrutidhar. Now you have to decide whether you come into the category of Shrutidhar or not. Now you may think that PDF is already sent to me. So what is the point in writing my own notes in my own words? So if you have anyway decided, then there is no point in me explaining this anyway. So let's leave it. Only time will tell who has planned and destined himself to fail. Maybe by next May month or June month will come to know. At that time, you will say to me, sir, I didn't get rank. Then I'll say, see, you didn't make notes now. That's why you are having a test. That time, take a word from me. I'm going to use exactly same sentence, whether you like it or not. That time I told you. Okay. So whenever we are talking about external force, we will actually, it is my mistake also. Like I don't know why, because this is a problem with copy paste. I copied this entire thing and I pasted it over here and removed some of the things. Then I forgot to remove the word slowly. Maybe that's where the confusion started. So now I also got to learn something that now no need to copy. Otherwise, it creates a mistake. Potential at point P of an electric field is defined as the negative of work done by electric field when a unit positive charge goes from infinity to this point of this electric field, whether slowly or not slowly. Now we will write every time slowly or not slowly, doesn't matter. This we will write in each definition. Okay. So any doubt in these two methods, anyone? Very well then. So now you know that there is something called principle of superposition while calculating the net force on any charged particles, which is like vector sum of all the forces. Similarly, there is a superposition for calculating potential. Net potential at point P is equal to scalar sum, because potential is a scalar, no? Work done. Scalar sum of potential due to all the individual charges. Some potentials, some charges will have positive potential. Some charges will have negative potential. Positive charges will have positive potential because of the reference chosen to be 0 at infinity. And negative charges have got negative potential because of the reference value of 0 chosen at infinity. Think about it. Okay. Now, there are some questions in which we have to find out potential only. For example, you have to find out the potential due to this charge rod. So this is of length 2a and it is uniformly charged with charge density lambda. You have a point on its perpendicular bisector at a distance of x from it. Find the potential at this point P, which means if you place 1 coulomb, how much, you know what. So we know the formula for potential due to a point. So divide this rod it also into point charges and then take the total effect. So we'll say that, okay, I will take one element at a distance of r and of thickness dr and calculate what is the contribution of this lambda dr charge towards the potential at point P. So V at P due to charge in dr element. So that is like a point charge, and point charge potential is K into the charge itself divided by R. Now R can be written as root over x square plus R square. And just the scalar sum only, na? So no need to take component, one potential like this, another potential like this. So the two potentials are 2V cos theta, but that is rubbish. We have a scalar addition, so that's good. So V total. Oh, by the way, K lambda dr by root over R square plus x square. When we integrate from 0 to A, we will get potential of only left part. But potential of left part and potential of right part will be same. So we'll multiply it by 2. So we'll get K lambda. Okay. While integration, we can put R is equal to x tan theta, converting into trigonometric form, because Trigonometric integrations are easier to do. So here we have theta. R equal to x tan theta. Looks like my R is, everything is gone. K lambda
Sir,
root of x. Huh?
sir, already we have calculated electric field for the standard objects, no, sir. For example, rods, sir.
Yeah.
Then can't we take from that, according to the definition of potential, change in potential is negative of that electric field?
When did we define change in potential as negative of electric field?
Sir, I think so before, so that
We defined the potential as negative of work done by electric field.
okay, sir. I think I hadn't got that work done, sir. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir, clear now, sir. I didn't.
All right. I'm not liking this integration anyways. Who knows, it may give infinity or all. So root over x square. So x square plus so x secant theta. I'll just leave it here only. I'm getting worried about the infinity value of potential. Okay. Now, how to calculate the potential difference between 2 points?
The difference will always be same, sir. So we can take another charge. We can represent like there is some electric field around those two charges, sir, and we can calculate separate electric potential and separate it, sir.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes that the thing is not available to us because the electric field will be given in some random way. Like electric field is given to be some 2x square I care. Now, who are the charges who are creating that potential? We don't know that. So in that way, what to do? In that way, we go to the second definition. So if we have got point A in the electric field and point B in the electric field, what is the potential difference defined as? Potential at A minus potential at B is equal to negative of work done by electric field when 1 coulomb is taken from EF means electric field. That's how the potential difference between 2 points is defined. I hope you remember this. B to A, final minus initial. Or if you want, I can always write it as I and F. But I think this is also fine. Okay. Potential difference is final potential minus the initial potential. B is initial. We are taking from B to A. Okay. And you can choose any path independent of the path. So what you can say is, while taking this 1 coulomb, from B to A. Let's say you have already reached C. And at C, there is some electric field. We don't know the direction. The electric field at C is like this. And you are taking a small displacement, dr. So how much force 1 coulomb will get? That's electric field only, na? So electric field E is a force on 1 coulomb. And the force on 1 coulomb dot displacement of 1 coulomb is the work done by electric field during this tiny displacement dr. And like that, for each and every dr displacement, there is the work done by electric field. During one of the dr, the electric field is in the direction shown. For some other dr, electric field will be some in the other direction. Who knows? But do the dot product of the dr displacement with the electric field present during that dr displacement. And the dot product of these two will give you the work done by electric field on 1 coulomb charge. And integrate it to get the total work done. And put a minus sign. And this will give you the potential difference between A and B. So VA minus VB is equal to minus integration of E dot dr. And from where to where are you going? You are going from B to A. So this is the relation between difference in potential and the electric field associated. I'll give you an example, because these kind of questions are very common. So we will have questions based on 1D electric field and 2D electric field both. Then we'll have radial electric fields. By the way, I have given yesterday some questions from Erudo, some 4 or 5 questions. Please finish it by today. Let's say there exists an electric field, E vector, which is (20)(1 minus x by 5) Newton per coulomb I cap. X square by 5. And there are 2 points. One is, let's say, 1, 0. Another is, let's say, 3, 0. This is a initial point. Let's say you have to find out the potential difference. Potential at 3, 0 minus potential at 1, 0. This is what your goal is, to find this. Then what you do is, you take a charge particle from initial. We always write final minus initial, delta V, difference in potential, change in potential, final minus initial. Which means initially you are at 1 and finally you are at 3. So you go from 1 to 3. By the way, let me draw the origin also. Origin will be somewhere here. So while going from 1 to 3, you divide the entire displacement into small parts. And let us say that you have already reached X from origin. And for the next dx displacement of this 1 coulomb charge that we are taking, let's say, by the way, you have already reached P. So at P, what is the force on 1 coulomb? Force on 1 coulomb is whatever is the electric field. That's how electric field is defined, force on 1 coulomb. So electric field at P is a force acting on 1 coulomb. And then you do a small displacement, which is dx. So this is the work done on 1 coulomb, integrated. So this will be the total work done by electric field. Put a negative sign, and that will give you the difference in potential, which is minus integration. What is the electric field? 20 into 1 minus x square by 5. Displacement is how much? Dx I cap. You are going from 1, 0 to 3, 0. So V3 minus V1. So V3 minus V1 in this electric field will be, so now this is simple. X cube